What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is gonna be the first and probably the last for a longer time educational video, since I've got like multiple questions in the Discord today and also the days before. I just thought like, okay, let me make one video where I'm gonna go over the questions so it's easier. um, I have some of them copied into here, and others have been asked in private DMs, which I wrote down. So I'm basically just gonna go over them one by one to see, or basically just to do it for everyone. It's easier than just typing it out in Discord. So all I'm doing now is just reading that and going over everything with you as it would be like some educational shit. Um, Freddy asked, right, the right trade risk management. So I guess he means in general how to have a right risk management. So what I do, or I don't do that anymore, but I used to do that when I had fundeds. What you want to do is use your drawdown that you have and divide it by 7, and that's your max risk per day or per trade. I would say per day, and just take one a day, or risk like 140 here for a trade. It just gives you room of 7 days straight of losses to make money. I think people over leverage in the funded stage way too much in the beginning. Um, I do that as well. Not gonna lie, it. I don't want to say it works better than, because it's always the same risk. It's just after time you're gonna risk more, but you also know it could be over faster. Like if I risk 400 $500 a trade, my TP is usually like a minimum 1 to 5, between a 1 to 10 and 1 to 15 usually. So if I risk 500 or 4, let's use 500, my TP would be like between 8 and 15k. So it's different from what you trade. If you're more like a trader, 1 to 2, 1 to 1, 1 to 3, maybe a 1 to 4, use that as your leverage. Trust me, this is gonna save your accounts. And don't, especially in the beginning, just over leverage on evals. Yeah, people like to say, yeah, you're stuck then in evals and waste time. For beginners, it's never a waste of time. It's just a learning process. You're gaining experience and you can just adapt that on your fundeds. Also, another thing, don't get nervous starting to trade fundeds. That's when you're gonna think yourself into setups where there are actually no setups. So that is basically what I can tell you from risk management. Everyone has to find his path. Just know your RR, know your risk, and know how many days of buffer you want to give yourself. This is like a common thing many people do. So that's basically what I would suggest you doing. Another thing he asked, what are your key opens? Because I have talked about key open trades. Key opens for me are midnight open, Asia open, or midnight open and the daily open. So 6 p.m., midnight. I also have the weekly open. As you can see, pretty good bounce spot. I use 10 a.m. open. I use what else? 10 a.m. That's basically it. I use sometimes 8:30 and 9:30 as opening prices, but that's honestly it for me. I use the 4-hour opens only for the 10 a.m. Like this is my 10 a.m. if you can see it. That's basically all that I am doing with key opens. I'm not really a key open taking a trade off of key opens. It's more like if it lines up with multiple things, for example, a POC or something like volume profile, then I like it more. But that's basically everything I can say to the key opens that are my key opens. So again, midnight open, daily open, the 10 a.m., sometimes 8:30, sometimes 9:30 for the 9:30 wick as a DOL, and that's basically it for the key opens for me. I think so. Yeah. The next question, how do you pass evals? Trade normal or with CPI, NFP, full port or something similar? I do full port on CPI sometimes if I have some kind of account sitting there that are just cheap at the moment. But this is not something you should do as a beginner. You're gonna full port evals, you're gonna be in the funded maybe, or just blow your money for no reason. You have no experience in the funded. You're just gonna blow your funded instant. I'm not a fan of full porting in the beginning. For me, it's a waste of time being in eval. That's why and I don't even full port every CPI. I just do it when I feel like it. That's basically it for me. Like I trade evals for this question here. I trade evals heavier, but not much heavier. I don't risk way more because honestly, as I said, when my TP on the funded is like sometimes between, let's say, in the smallest size, it's like 2k, and for the really big sizing trades, it's like 4, 5, 6k. So I don't need to risk more on a eval because I don't need more. I need 3k or 1.5k. Sometimes I even risk like less, or I copy trade them with my fundeds and just close them on TradeSyncer and let my fundeds run. So that's how I pass evals. For beginners, I would suggest size down. Don't rush the eval. My first eval I ever bought, I blew in 1 week. The second I ever bought, I traded for 15 trading days, and I passed my second ever eval that I bought. Don't rush it. I don't know why people want to pass in 2 days on their evals, or complain about consistency when they are not even consistent. Buy the cheapest evals, the easiest for traders, and then just keep going from there. Do you pyramid? I already explained this in the chat. This was like kind of a different question. How do you read structure, and do you use all time frames and just swap back and forth until you see something? No, I have I for me, what I use, it depends on what I want to see. So I use the daily to see if we are in any higher time frame PDRA, like this daily gap. That's all I'm doing. Is it like, for example, are we in a daily OB? That's basically the only things. What did I just do? That's the only things I'm looking for on the daily gap. So really quick peak, and I basically already know what's going on around here because we have been in this range the whole time. So I just go through, swap to the 4 hour. What is like 4 hour is just, like in this sideways thing, you're not gonna see much structure. For people who use like fair value gaps at POIs, I would definitely open the 4 hour gap for sure. I just use it for OBs. Same with the 1 hour. Like these are all these high time frames where I just try to define a bias, or when I pull out the fib, when I'm trying to hit the trade off of fib, or when I anchor my VWAPs, my standard deviation sometimes, that's when I use the 1 hour time frame. Otherwise, it's really just lower. Same with the 30. The 30 minute is probably, I just have it here, but I don't really open that. Also for gaps, if I don't have other gaps. 50 minute is purely for FVGs. Again, for example, is my fib level, the OTE lining up with a 50-minute gap? Is my rejection block, for example, or my order block supported by any fair value gaps? That's basically all I'm looking for here as well. And the most important for me is the 5 and the 3 minute. Like I use the 5 and the 3 minute to basically mark out everything for my model. I use rarely any other time frames. Like in Asia, I do use the 1 minute, for example, if structure is just really slow, and the 5 minute just looks like this, and I want to see some 1 minute structure. That's when I use like the 1 minute time frame. But really, just for my model that I use all over, I just use the 5 minute and the 3 minute. But the 3 minute also rarely, like it's usually the 5 minute straight up. That's basically how I go through the time frames. I would suggest stay off the lower time frames, especially for beginners. It's a lot more manipulation. You're gonna miss out on moves, yes. Is it really a miss out though? No, it's probably just save yourself from a dumb trade. The lower time frame has to be like really precise. Let's just call it like this. And that's basically how I use my time frames. That's basically all I use. I have the weekly and the monthly here and the 90-day because I just implied like volume profiles, and these are like the things that I use my volume profile for. The anchored one, a friend told me about it. I don't really know much yet. So that's basically it for me. The most important thing about the time frames, honestly. How do you catch high probability turtle soups? So I don't really care at all about turtle soups. Like this is all very hard into ICT that I don't use at all, to be honest. For me, it's engineered lows and highs. I've explained engineered lows and highs, and you're gonna see me having marked out engineered lows, engineered low, engineered high, engineered high, engineered high, engineered low. So you're just gonna see me mark out those things. I don't really care about turtle soups or because I'm in the move from up there or from down there. I'm not really in the move anywhere else, as you can see me like not in the middle of it. So I don't really care if we turtle soup something. I did use it in the past. I don't do it at all anymore. It's more like a volume, it's more like an order flow kind of thing for inducements and stuff. I don't look at it at all. Do you have any, and what he probably means by that with how do you spot high probability turtle soups, probably high probability liquidity sweeps. Um, the only sweeps I'm looking for are either session highs and lows or, as I said, engineered highs and lows. So that's really everything I'm doing for my liquidity pools. That's basically it. Honestly, it's that simple. So I would just keep going with this. Do you have any way to measure PA to anticipate how deep the market will go in a consolidation or just hit the edge and continues? Wait, do you have any measure of to anticipate how deep the market will go in a consolidation or just hit the edge and continues? I'm not too sure what this is supposed to mean. How deep market goes, for example, here, how deep can this thing go? It's really just standard deviations for me. Standard deviations lining up with probably old OBs that I traded away from, but you can see there is not really any like trades I took down there, so I don't really have anything here. I have my standard deviation pocket, so obviously the protected low down there that we still have intact, so that could be like the next area for me to look out for. But how deep the market will go, I need to see some structure. Like you see this structure here, not really anything I can long off, so I know this thing is gonna go deeper, and I'm not really limiting anything like in here. Sometimes I do if it lines up perfect with something I took a long off of earlier, but this is basically how I look into market, how deep the markets can go, especially if some standard deviation levels, and I'm not a standard deviation like pro or anything, but if they line up like this, for example, this would be an area, or you can see this. This is also where I took a long from, got PE'd. This is basically the only thing where I try to spot, okay, where could market technically reverse from. And the other thing, in a consolidation, I use consolidation to enter trades after that. I trade power of three, so as you can see, all I do is wait for the consolidation. I want consolidation to happen, and you're not gonna see me entering a trade in here. So I'm not trying to find the edge where it's gonna break out. I'm not a breakout trader. So basically, I think this question is answered. How deep markets go and consolidation, or just hit the edge and goes. As I said, I don't trade consolidation, and all I use is standard deviation levels for how deep the markets can go, or how high as well. Just something on what I'm looking on, if the consolidation is like 100 point large, you get 100 point displacement out of it. It often just reaches the edge and continues. If it's just very little displacement, it often makes a double purge. If it's no big displacement but also little manipulation, equilibrium at the continuous high temperature is correct. Also, um, all of this is basically for breakout traders. Um, it sounds like either I'm not too sure what you mean by that, because I'm not too sure if you're trying to find the breakout inside of the consolidation or when the market stops here to reverse after. That is basically the whole Fries and Power of Three model, to see when manipulation has ended and when we are starting to go into distribution. That's the whole model, and that's the whole thing I'm trading every single time in my trade recaps. I hope that answers the question, because the other thing I don't really know what it means. Either it's some breakout trader stuff, or you just said it wrong, because how I understood it, I answered the question. So I hope this helped. And I'm gonna move on here. Um, where do you anchor your standard deviation? How do you define bias? I define bias by power of freeze. If we create protected lows and print power of freeze to the upside with distribution into higher prices, I have a long bias. If we are making protected highs and our power of freeze are playing out to the downside, I am having a short bias. So the only thing I'm using for bias is my power of freeze, protected highs and lows. That's all I'm using. I do, as I said, peek into the daily. If we are in a daily gap, I'm a little bit like, if my bias is bullish and we hit a daily gap like right there, I am a little cautious if we can print something lower. But I keep my bias until proven wrong, until we, for example, here take out protected lows. As you can see, we start taking all of these protected lows that we had previously. So I am flipping my bias. That's how I define my bias. And there is many ways into looking at FVGs, what probably many of you do, using the fib, using standard deviation, just have POIs. I said this like in my video before. You should come into a market with a POI you want price to trade into, to be interested to even trade. So you don't want to come in as a beginner, in my opinion, and be fully reactionary and just, because you're just gonna think yourself into setups when there are not even any setups. Have a, if it's FVGs, use the 4 hour. Okay, it's a little bit chaotic here. Okay, like let's say this is New York AM. We have a 4 hour unfilled gap here and we are overall bullish. So I want price to trade into. If we reverse from here, I don't care. I don't take a trade. My POI is down here. And let's say this is New York AM. We come up here, you trade, for example, IFVGs. You get an IFVG stop loss here and you trade higher. Have a idea what you want to see to be interested. It's gonna help you a lot to build also confidence when you see price trade into your POI. You're more confident to take a trade mostly than just trade reactionary out of nowhere. In my opinion, very like useful to have that. So just try to use that every single day before you start into the day. 50 minutes before the market. If you need longer, do it longer. If you need shorter, do it shorter. It depends on every um, individual. And the other question with standard deviation, I only use manipulation legs. I'm not a pro in standard deviations. This is all I know. So for example, an obvious manipulation leg to go lower. So I want to see where this thing can stop here. For example, another manipulation leg that got eaten up again. So I anchor my standard deviation, for example, here. There are many other ways as well. I mainly suggest you doing this. I don't suggest trading off of standard deviation for beginners anyways. By like limiting standard deviation, because I just think it's harder. Like just use it, for example, if this is all-time highs up here and we are trading, like for example, we are doing something like this, we make new all-time highs, we manipulate lower, then go higher, anchor your standard deviation and just go higher. So sorry, my mic just bugged out. So if you have no target up here because there is no, for example, high or something, because we are in all-time highs, all you want to do is just use the manipulation leg, have a standard deviation pocket, and then just TP into the standard deviation pocket and take profit there, because you're trading no man's land. That's probably the easiest way for many of you all to use standard deviation. You don't really need standard deviation at all in here. You can trade fully off of your own confluences, etc., etc. So if you want to apply it, apply it. If you don't, then don't do it. I don't use it on a daily basis either. I use it sometimes when I just like to draw it out, but that's basically it from standard deviations for me. Tell us about how to have a good psychology to become rich and the mindset we need. Not, but I'm talking about in general how to spend every day doing habits and cutting off bad ones and just improve in life for real. So this is like a hard question, because I said this many times, guys. You need to understand, first of all, don't get this wrong and hear me out in fully before judging. I am trading since my first ever trading video was January 29th, 2026. I am trading now 5 going into 6 months for my first trading video. So probably real time trading now between 4.5 and 5 months going into my 6th month. I have, compared to others, no experience. Like, it's very important to also have experience, and I am doing mistakes and I'm talking about them, and this is actually a good example. For example, for today, I hit my record week last week. What happens? I don't know. Like, I'm still trying to find out. Do I get bored? Is it chasing profits even though I already hit TP? So I don't know if it's that. Is it just wanting more? Is it greed? What is it? Because I gambled like a couple Lucid accounts today and I felt really bad after that, because no matter if it's a gamble, if it's a good trade, I don't like or not if it's a good trade, sorry, if it's a bad trade, if it's a gamble, if it's just for no reason losing money, because obviously I'm losing real money when I lose my evals as well. I just feel really bad. So do I am I perfect? No, very far from being perfect, very far. Do I have or do I know what it takes to keep going and try to make something happen? Yeah, definitely, because I think I did like 90% of the things that were necessary to get here in that amount of time that I'm trading. And it's really just um it's hard to start that conversation. It's probably going to take like a couple minutes for me to explain that perfectly, because it's really just, you have to understand, if you want to make this happen, there is firstly no shortcuts. You cannot skip any steps. You cannot risk insanely more just to be faster at your profit goal than you want it to be. There is always a risk on the table. There is also always factors that you cannot handle yourself. For example, last Friday, me being completely stopped out in day like complete daily loss limit by a Trump candle, and TradingView not fully closing my positions on the follower accounts. It's not something that you can it's not something that you can do something about, but what you can do is always have good risk management and discretion in your trades. No over trading, no revenge trading. I know this all sounds stupid. I did that long time. I did that for so much. I lost so much money doing that for no reason. I lost so much like mental capacity by just doing that, throwing weeks away of progress just by one bad day. It sounds easier than it is. Trust me, it's gonna get to your mind. And I would already call myself a really strong like mentality kind of person, but trust me, it's gonna get to you, and it's also gonna be really hard to fix that. The realest thing I can tell you is no one is gonna come to save you. If you want it, you need to do it yourself. If you really want it, you need to realize at one point, I need to stop doing the same bullshit over and over again. And there will be a point in your life, in your trading journey, where you are just sitting there and just be like, I'm so tired of doing the same old stuff over and over again. I just have to change something. And that's the for many people that got successful after the point where they really changed, the point where they just followed the rules. It sounds so stupid simple, but it's not. As you can see today, I did not follow my rules. I blew a couple accounts for no reason because of gambling. Did I still hit TP on other trades? Because people say, yeah, but you hit TP on like 50% of the other accounts. Yes. Is it I could have hit TP on all of accounts and not gambled my money away. Is that a thing a profitable person would ever do in like theory? Never. Like, it's something you have to understand. No matter how much you make, you cannot make mistakes. Prop firm accounts are built on, I don't want to say being perfect, but trying to hit perfect, or trying to be as close as possible to being perfect. Like, you need to be a complete robot on your mind to be successful in prop firm trading because I could make 40K today, or that is a bad example. I could make 2K, 3K today. Tomorrow, the same day, that does not mean I can lose now 5K or something. No, like it's obviously when you build the buffer, etc. Yes, but I cannot just because I made so much, like for example on the live account, lose more tomorrow because I made that. No, you have a loss limit that's gonna move with you. You have an end of trade drawdown. So if I lose again today, my drawdown is just gonna move and I'm gonna only be able to lose 2K again. If I lose 2K, all my profit before it does not matter anymore. It's all gone. That's what you have to understand. Like it's really hard to keep that consistency up, but without being consistent, it's not gonna work and you cannot let your emotions get to you. It happens to me, it has happened to me a lot until you get so sad and in such a deep hole that you have to dig yourself out of, where you just cannot keep going. Either you quit trading or you fix your mindset. And that is the main part that I can tell you guys when the trading is gonna fix your mind. Like trading is gonna humble the fuck out of you. After the first 1.5 months of trading, I was at 4 out of 5 winning days on a Lucid Flex account for payout ready with a Tradify account. So 2 payouts in the first 3 evals. What did I do? $700 of a payout each account was not enough. I tried to make more. What happened? I lost it all and I was in a deep hole that I had to dig myself out of. So not a situation you want to be in, and it's just one situation that can happen to you out of so many, guys. Like it's just so many things, and also bad things are going to happen. It's just things that you have to learn from. Also me, it's not like that I'm perfect or anything, guys, and this is what I meant with don't see me as your mentor because someone said that in the chat. In terms of experience, in terms of making mistakes, I am still doing so many mistakes. I'm still so far from being anywhere near perfect. I'm still so far of having like any noticeable experience in the markets. Like it's really, you really have to define that. And I know like I cannot just make experience out of nothing. It's just I have to keep going and just gain the experience every single day. I cannot just skip time out of nowhere. I know, guys, but still that is just something right now that I cannot change. For example, I cannot change having 5 months of experience. I cannot go back in time, start trading 5 months earlier. I cannot just skip another 5 months to have 10 months of experience. Don't see me as a mentor or something. See me as a guidance. I'm trying to help as much as I can. I'm trying to not, I don't like the word teaching. I'm trying to give as much knowledge as I can. But at the end of the day, I am so far from being anywhere even possibly being called a mentor. Don't do that, guys. Not because I'm a bad person, not because or any of that. I'm trying to be the best person you will meet in the internet. It's just there are so many missing factors for me to be a reasonable mentor that it's better to just let me gain experience and then we can talk about this. It's a little bit out of topic, but that is just another thing I've seen in the private DMs. Also, the thing I've seen here, the right mindset, we need to cut off bad things and have the mindset to improve in life. It's just always how bad do you want it? And look at yourself. Are you proud of yourself right now? Are you proud that you gambled your accounts today and lost it all? Are you proud that you skipped another day of like learning? Are you proud of yourself that you skipped another day of journaling? Are you proud of yourself skipping another day of gym? It's whatever you want to be in life. You just have to be better 1% every single day. One thing I always had in my mind, Michael Jordan once said, and I always had this on my phone background, I will never be perfect, but if I chase perfect, like if I try to chase to be as close as possible to being perfect, I will outperform 99% of people because they will not even try. Guys, if you even try, you are better than And I mean for real trying. And for me, there is no such thing as I tried. It's either do it or not do it. If I throw a rock on the ground and I tell you, try to pick it up, there is no trying. Either you pick up the rock or you don't pick it up. There is no in between. You cannot try to pick something up, for example. Try to fix that in your mind. There is no such thing as trying. There is either doing it or not doing it. And if you want to do it, then do it. If you don't want to do it, just stop. Like, it's not a shame. Like, many people, if everyone who started is going to keep this thing up forever, everyone in the world might be a trader. Like, if it's not for you, just don't keep going. If it's for you, but then be for real. Don't waste time. Do your thing. Like, if you want to be that person, you have to try your hardest every single day to be that person. And it comes with no shortcuts. Like, be disciplined in life, be disciplined on the charts. Be undisciplined in life, you're going to be undisciplined on the charts. It's that simple. And that's basically everything I can tell you. Like, it's just a you versus you. As dumb as it sounds, no one is going to come to save you. Not your parents, not your brother, not your friends. The only thing that is going to save you is yourself, your hard work, and God. Just those three things, and you can be so great in life, guys. All that's basically all you need. Have faith in God. Be 1% better every single day. Try to chase, or not, again, sorry, I just said it wrong. Not try to chase your dreams. If you have a dream, chase it. There is no such thing as trying. Either do it or don't do it. And that's basically it for the discipline and motivation. I think that's everything I had to hear. I think that's everything you guys need to hear. I hope for those of y'all who feel like the same how I felt, it's gonna help. For the others, find the thing you love in life. This is not just about trading, and give your hardest to become that person. There is no acceptance in being average, and with average, people always assume, oh, you need to have 5 million in the bank by 20. No, if you love being an accountant, try to be the best accountant in your company. There is no need for anyone to be average in what they are doing. Whatever you try, that's a winner mindset. Whatever you're doing in life, try to be the best at it. Don't compare though. Another important thing that I forgot. Try to be the best, but don't compare. Don't care what others do. Like, try to be the best for yourself. If you are better today than yesterday, you improved and you are better. Don't compare yourself to your friend. Oh, my friend made $800 in a trade today. I made only 600. Fuck, I need to hit another trade. And especially why I did not post so much P&L before. I do it now because so people believe me also that I took the trade. For example, you see, like, let's just take the first example. Oh my god, Simon made $8,450. I made 6,000. I need to hit another, or I made $800 in a trade. I need to feel bad now. No, there is no need to. Let me actually remove this. Like, let's just remove the profits. There is no need. Or for example, this trade where I was in 5 grand and people are like, oh my god, I only entered with like 3 micros. I'm only up like 300. Yeah, 300 a day. Who makes $300 in a day, guys? Just put money on your desk. I've seen so many videos of people saying that now, that it's just like, don't chase profits other people are making. It's so unnecessary. Like, that's gonna destroy you. You see, like, do I chase more because on this day I made only 2k per account, and here I made 4.2k? Do I chase profits though on this day? No. It's about the trade and the right risk management. Why did I make so much here? Did I just risk more? No, the trade just went for way more points. I hit my risk management, and that's all that you guys have to care about. Doesn't matter if you risk. For example, everyone has to be comfortable with their loss. My comfortable zone is $500. If yours is $150, risk 150. Who cares? It's gonna come by time when you start winning a lot. I'm just gonna open these right now, not to like show off or anything, but this is. Do you think that's how I started, guys? That's not how I started. My start was $200, $300 a trade every single day. If I lost, I lost. That's just that's just how you have to see it, and that's where I struggle the most, probably also in my thing, accepting bad losses, probably. Yeah, because that's when the evil gamble comes in. And just as I said, I'm not perfect as well, and I hope everything I said kinda helps you guys. It helped me. I hope it helps as many people as possible, because I know how bad it is, guys. This might sound dumb. I have been crying like a baby in my bed in the night, just not knowing how to keep this thing going, not knowing what to want in life, not knowing if I'm ever going to be able to do it. It's bad. It sucks. No one is going to know what people go through, or what I went through, or what you're probably going through, if they have never tried it. It's so hard on the mentality wise. It was, at least for me. It might not be for others, but it destroyed me nearly, like, honestly. And you just have to also, when it gets too harsh, slow down. Don't try to push it as further. Like, if you really see it like eating up your mind on a daily basis, you really have to change something also, and then just go a couple steps slower for the next couple of days until you feel better. But this is what I mean. Don't try to get comfortable just because you don't want to keep going anymore. This is actually when you have, like, starting to have mental issues, and then you should really just slow it down for a couple of days, weeks, because you should never destroy your health just to chase something. That will be the last thing I can tell you guys. I hope this is already 36 minutes. I talk my ass off. I gave you my honest opinion on everything. I tried, at least. So let me know what you think. If you have other questions, I might do a video again about these kind of things in a couple weeks or months, depending on how I feel. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to listen to this if you had a question in there, and me answering your question. And I hope you enjoyed it, and see you the next time. Today was only one trade. I'm gonna record the trade recap. We're gonna see that later, probably, or probably tomorrow. So make sure to watch that as well. And see you the next time, guys. Thank you for giving me the questions to make this kind of thing. I hope I helped. Thanks for listening to everyone who is still in there, and see you the next time. Hope you enjoyed.